Hello, people from around the universe! I am your host, the Italian Ace, and today we have a bit of a special video because a lot, and I mean a lot, of new information has apparently leaked for the new Pokemon Scarlet and Violet games. And when I say leaked, I mean leaked, as in this is apparently all legit. It's not rumors, it's not random people online posting whatever, it's supposedly things that are actually going to be in the games. And because of that, I'm gonna cover them. Like I said in other videos, I'm not gonna cover every single leak or rumor because A, sometimes they just turn out to be false, and B, some of them are not really that interesting. But these ones, there is a lot of stuff to go over, so yeah. Let's just get right to it. But of course, before we do any of that, cue my intro. Okay, so I have the Central League's Twitter account pulled up, and big shoutouts to them for having this whole thing in a single, easy to follow thread, so I don't have to go scour the deepest corners of the internet just to find that one image that is for some reason impossible to locate. And I will give you my thoughts on everything that is here, especially the two starter evolutions that have been revealed. I mean, they're hard to see, but still. And we'll just go from there. So first up, we have some of the gym leader designs, or, I mean, yeah, really just the designs. I don't think you can see much more than that about them. And they seem fine. Like, we don't know almost anything about them outside of how they look like, and even then, the pictures are not the best quality again, so doesn't give us too much to go off of, but it is cool to start getting an idea of what some of the characters would be like in the game, at least purely from a design perspective. Anyway, I don't have too much to say about these. None of them are immediately jumping out at me as like, oh, this will be a cool gym leader. We're gonna have to wait and see what they're actually like in game. Real quick though, before we go forward with anything else, I do have to point out, even with this video, that these are not 100% confirmed to be real. From what I understand, they're basically confirmed to be real, but they're not quite 100% guaranteed, right? So if these turn out to not be anything related to the game and just someone who did a very nice job with these leaks and fooled a lot of people, I guess me included, but I'm just kind of basing it off of everyone else's discretion in this case because there's too much to go through and decide if it's fake or not by yourself, then I am sorry, but hopefully these are just real leaks and I'm not covering hypotheticals. Next we have a Wooper related leak where it will apparently be part poison or just poison type, and it will not evolve into Quagsire, which is interesting. Could be good if this is true because I was never the biggest Quagsire fan, but I always found Wooper pretty cute, so maybe they'll have a cooler evolution for it. We'll see. Nothing too crazy though. Moving on from there, we also have what looks to be Pawmi's evolution. Now, I don't know if this is the final evolution or the middle stage evolution or what. I could, again, just see this being real, even without the context of these supposedly being just real leaks. And that is because it does seem like a natural progression from Pawmi, and also something that I could see Game Freak doing, especially since it does appear to have also gone bipedal, because apparently every Pokemon has to turn bipedal. I don't know. Here we have actually one of the more interesting leaks, and that is about the 3 gimmicks of this generation, one of which we'll get to at the end of this, because I think it's the last of the tweets from the bottom, so I guess the first from the top, whatever. But these gimmicks are pretty fun from what I'm seeing. One of them being this Crystallization, which apparently every single Pokemon will have access to. So I guess that will be the Dynamax equivalent for this generation. I mean, it seems fine, I guess. I will have to see what it really does in-game. But, it does have some promise since apparently a lot of the NPCs also use this. Which is great, because I do not want to have another X and Y situation where you have Megas, but like no NPC uses Megas until the 7th gym or something. I mean, except for Corina for that one battle with 2 Mega Lucarios. And that was really dumb, because Mega Evolutions were so overpowered and you were already overleveled, and now you're just steamrolling even more. So if they at least give it to everyone, or most NPCs in the game, that will be good. I do want to point out the design, or animation if you will, for this Crystallization gimmick, because it looks like it's a skull with bones crossing over it, so like the pirate flag? I mean, it's weird, right? Like, maybe they're gonna really dig into kind of this seafaring theme, and that will play into Quaxly evolution, and then we'll have some pirate theme stuff in the region, and maybe some like Spanish Navy stuff in the region. I don't know. I mean, obviously, for anyone who doesn't know, the Spanish Empire was renowned for its naval prowess in like the Renaissance to 1800s period. So it would make sense, but I don't know. I guess we'll have to see. Just wanted to put that out there because I thought it was interesting. And now we get to one of the more bizarre leaks, at least to me, and that is these fake Pokemon, or whatever they're called, where they're not regional forms, but just a different way of designing them. I don't know. We had the leaks for Amoonguss and Jigglypuff, and they look weird. I will not lie. I'm not saying they look bad. I actually think they look interesting, but they're also for 2 Pokemon I never really cared about. So it's like, yeah, cool, but show me this for some of the more interesting Pokemon, and then we'll see where this is actually going. Still, I don't really know what they mean when it's not new regional forms or evolutions. Like, are these gonna be just in every game from now on, but separate from regional variants? Because it just seems like another way of designing Pokemon differently for this region, but what do I know? And now we're gonna move on to some of the leaked Pokemon images, and again, the quality is not the best, so what can you do? We'll just try to make out as much as we can. The first one is pretty obvious. It's a Flamingo style Pokemon, which could be cool. I mean, flamingos are interesting birds for sure, and I would have no issue with them being introduced in a region like the Scarlet and Violet one that's based on the Iberian Peninsula, which, by the way, will also apparently be called Paldea, or Paldea, however you want to pronounce it, which I'm wondering if it has some special meaning. I mean, Dea in Italian is goddess, so I don't know. We'll see, but it does seem like this Flamingo Pokemon could be cool, just from the very out of focus picture we have, but I mean, yeah, this doesn't give me enough to be like, yes, this is a good design right there. Moving on from that, and we have what I believe to be Quaxly's evolution, and I will say, in the out of focus version, it does show a lot of promise. There's a rendition of it online, which I'll try to find, where it's someone drawing it, and that one kind of has me worried because I don't really like the proportions of it, but it could also just be this person drawing it with like some creative liberty, and the way it looks in game is more like this, where the hair slash headpiece or feather or whatever you want to call this part on its head is super exaggerated, and I'm all here for it. Also, water fighting, pretty cool type, not gonna lie. I mean, I've always been a fan of the Rapid Strike Urshifu, so another water fighting Pokemon is a-okay with me. Up next we have what I think is supposed to be Lechonk's evolution, but it's like, I don't know. We're not seeing the part that is of concern, which is the face, since apparently, they're doing the whole makeup stuff for Lechonk's evolution with the lipstick on a pig saying, which, man, I hope that was a troll by the Riddler, but I really don't think it was, and that's gonna be rough. But from this picture, I mean, at least it's quadrupedal, okay? Like, we'll take what we can get, honestly. And here we have, apparently, Sprigatito's evolution. And, this has me slightly concerned, I'm not gonna lie. For one, it does look like it's bipedal, but we've kind of known that for a while. That doesn't necessarily mean it's bad. However, I know that it has a whole photosynthesis concept going, so this isn't necessarily a surprise. But seeing this kind of flower pattern around its neck is not my favorite. I won't lie. I don't know. I mean, again, maybe when you see the full picture and not just this area, it will look better. But just from this, I'm a little spooked. I'm just a little cautious of where they're taking this, and I'm hoping they're not going to ruin one of the starter designs, because this generation could have 3 amazing starters in terms of their designs at the very least, which would be fantastic to see after we had so many disappointments in recent generations like Inteleon and Delphox and of course Ember. Ugh. Although, can we even say Gen 5 is recent anymore? I mean, it's gonna be getting remakes relatively soon, so maybe that's no longer a recent generation, which is making me feel very old. This picture, on the other hand, of apparently Quaxly's evolution seen from behind is kind of promising, not gonna lie. I really like what I'm seeing just from this. I could see this being a really cool Pokemon, especially when you combine this picture with the one we saw before. But, again, it does just kind of show you the same part as the Sprigatito one, but from behind, so I guess this part, which, it doesn't look bad. I mean, like I said, it has promise, but how much can you really tell, especially when the quality is not the best? Here we just have the leak for the region's name, which again is Paldea, and I just now read through the whole sentence of just the first 4 words or whatever, and I see that this is apparently based on Pokemon plus Aldea, which means village in Spanish. So my previous analysis of the name can be thrown in the garbage. I mean, it's just the name of the region, I guess it's fine. After that, we have the Mega Evolutions are not back, which is okay. I never really expected them to be back, but I did think it would have been cool if they were. Still, apparently we're going to have 3 gimmicks in this generation, so having some of the older ones come back as well could just be a mess, so that's fine. And finally, we have what I believe to be the most recent set of leaks that Centro has covered. Those being, there's not going to be a new Eeveelution, which kind of sucks. I don't know what they're waiting for in terms of Eeveelutions. It's been so many generations since the last one. Just give us a new one. No one's going to be upset. There's going to be no Joltik, Milotic, Wailord, Metagross, Jinx, and Golurk in the game, which they're very specific Pokemon to mention, but sure. I mean, I guess Jinx not being in the game is fine by me. Golurk, I don't care about. Metagross is whatever. Wailord is whatever. Milotic I do like, so that kind of sucks. And Joltik is also whatever. So nothing too groundbreaking there. But what I do want to focus on is these next 2 lines. Pokemon will time travel, and the player will not. Also, the story is very good, which cool. But Pokemon will time travel? I mean, I was actually thinking about making a video about this possibility based on the whole past versus future theme that is clearly going on in Scarlet and Violet. But I didn't expect it to actually be the case. I mean, they will time travel? What? I'm very confused as to how this is going to work, especially since you, the player, will not be time traveling. So it's just your Pokemon. Which I guess means they're going to, like, some way, somehow time travel in either a specific location where you leave them and they come back with a different form, or they time travel during battles, which would be very bizarre in a good way, but still. And I mean, I've always loved all this time travel stuff. That's one of the more fun things to talk about in physics that is actually not possible, unfortunately. Well, or maybe fortunately, I mean, there would be a mess if it were possible, I feel like. But, I don't know. I mean, it seems like it has a lot of potential, but it could also be chaos incarnate for the games. So, I'm excited and a little worried, let's just say. And I will cover this top post for this thread from Central Leaks, just because, even though it is from a month ago, and then it's just saying that the starter final evolutions are Grass Dark, Water Fighting, and Fire Ghost, and it does look like the Grass Dark and Water Fighting side of this would match with what we've gotten for the leaks so far, so that makes sense. We also know that Sprigatito will have a God tier hidden ability, which, like, okay, are we going to get Libero again? I don't know. I'm here for it, but I don't like the whole humanoid waifu-like part. But I mean, at this point, what can you do? Like, apparently, keeping a Pokemon quadrupedal is just impossible, so... Regardless, just doing a quick recap of these leaks. We have, apparently, the gym leaders. We have leaked images of Sprigatito and Quaxly's evolutions. Mostly Quaxly, because Sprigatito's one evolution picture is not a lot to go off of. We also have apparently Lechonk's picture, but they don't show the worrisome part, which is the face. So we'll never know how that looks, I guess, until we actually get it revealed. We have a bunch of like random Pokemon that are not going to be in the game. We have the Crystallization gimmick. We know that Pokemon will time travel, which is very interesting. And we also have this Flamingo Pokemon, which has potential, but again, from this one picture, it's hard to really say. And that is it for today's video. Again, this was a bit different than my usual topics because I don't really just cover straight up leaks. I might do discussion videos around a specific leak, but just covering leaks is I think, my first time after the Legends Arceus starters were leaked. And the reason I did it here is because, similar to when the starters were leaked and the whole game was leaked for Legends Arceus, there was just a lot to go over, so I did think it warranted an actual dedicated video to this. Regardless, I hope you enjoyed this. I'm still getting just more and more excited with every passing day and every passing new piece of info that we get for these games because they look to be pretty promising. And if they even have a good story, I mean, that's been missing since Gen 7, and even then, just Sun and Moon, not Ultra Sun and Ultra Moon, so that would be very, very appreciated. Anyway, I hope you have a great rest of your day. If you want to see more Pokemon content, then I do recommend subscribing, and I hope to see you all in the next video. But until then, remember to follow the way of the Ace. See ya!